Hello?
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 Oh, right, I should get the Twitch stream open.
Maybe.
That's my job as the admin. It's not the admin. The
I'm
moderator.
the
Fuck
admin.
me. I am the admin now.
Unfortunately. Regrettably, I have to be the admin of my own things. I wish this was not the case.
That's why you have me as a moderator, so you don't have to do it all the way.
Oh, that's
I think we're still in emote only
Yep,
chat.
I just clocked that as you said it. There we go. Bing! That was me and Des learnt on the weekend.
I can change that, but I
as
don't
me and
know.
Des learnt on the weekend, mods do not obey the emote only mode.
Didn't know that.
I did not. But yes, we are here.
I've been in enough Dodger Sam streams with their with like Dr. John and stuff like that, and their mischievous admins, mischievous moderators.
Thank you.
Thought this really gruesome horror ad that I'm getting on the Twitch stream right then had That's What I Want by Lil Nas X as the thing for it. I was like, that's an interesting choice, but no, it's my music. It's like, it's interesting.
Nope, it's just you.
It's me. List on.
Very realistic.
It was audio chat.
Let's crack on.
That you can now that you have the power of speech. Where's the fucking? There was a specific playlist I was listening to earlier, and I can find it on my phone really easy, but I can't find it in my immense folders. Would this even be in? How would I have categorized this? Do we think? Not my character, so it's not going to be in there.
Oh.
Oh, it'll be in my Final Fantasy playlist. There it is.
Da, 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 there we go.
Well, does vexing enough? There it is. Very good playlist that I can't make public. Much to my inferior. It's probably one of my better playlists that I can't make it public yet.
Give it time. Oh yeah, your camera did freeze then.
Yeah, I don't know. Has this always happened and I've just like never been aware?
It could be a uni Wi-Fi thing.
Yeah,
Because
that wouldn't surprise me. Well, that's why I said like tomorrow I'll
yeah,
hardwire it in because at the moment I'm using the Wi-Fi.
yeah, because uni Wi-Fi you've only been using for like a few weeks.
Weeks, yeah. App feedback. I always frozen.
Ironically, you were frozen when you said you were frozen.
This is going to annoy us now because we've noticed it.
Now that we're aware of it, I was not aware of this.
Yeah. I noticed it when I was watching a lecture back. Okay. I'm gonna work on it. I can't decide whether I want to try and write something new or whether I want to keep working on sensitive Final Fantasy fanfiction.
See, I'm in the same mood of I can't decide if I want to do something new or continue working on the... Because, again, as I said last time, it's been, like, months I've been working on this thing, but last time I was like... I was like, oh, well, I wasn't going to continue this, and then you came round and we roleplayed for an hour, so... But, so now I'm back in the state of, I don't know if I really want to continue it.
Should we, for the record, state what happened last time we tried to play Okar?
Oh, right.
Because I think that happened since the last time we streamed.
Yeah.
We did try and play Okar, not last week, but the week before.
Yeah.
Divine intervention.
Yeah, so to those wondering, after I had an hour-long roleplay with Curls, I then decided that it was only fair to rope Kay into my troubles. Only for me to start roleplaying with Kay for an hour, and then he had a power cut before we could finish.
We got to a point where it was really pivotal for Zal to do something, and Kay just finished for an hour.
Just went, and it was really awkward because we were like, well, we kind of can't continue.
Like, if it had been 10 minutes before or after, I could have kept going.
Yeah, we could have done
because
a little
of exactly where it was.
Yeah, we could have done a little transition and had a little look somewhere else, but nah,
good.
Not there.
That's good. Too pivotal. And now I can't remember it. So it's like, it's going to be an adventure on Thursday being like, what the fuck happened in that 10-minute session?
Yeah, because as you know, when I'm heavily role-playing, I cannot take notes.
You don't hit notes?
So I've not really got anything to go off of.
My memory vanishes after a couple days. So it's going to be a fun one. But we have a full slate of D&D this week, potentially.
Potentially.
It's fun.
It could happen. I need to double check who's DMing on Friday, because that's crucial, because it might be me.
You might need to know that.
I need to know that, because there's a 50% chance it's me. Hey, I should crack on with warm-up, huh?
Yeah. Warm-up is going to be deciding what to do. Because I've just been mentally warming up for the last few hours, so I'm considering that enough. I'm sure as I'm leaning on a stack of books. It's just like, oh, what is that? Well, actually, what is that? It's a bibliography of Bram Stoker.
Of course it is. What else was it gonna be? Other than the Odyssey.
Look, hey now. Disrespect.
It's not disrespect, it's accurate.
Those two I hate that that is my academic specialism, is Greek myth and Gothic. It's like well known enough to be a meme. That's upsetting. No, this is a fun little. This is my research for this week. Do you know how many editions of Dracula there have been since it has been published?
Oh my god! Again, it's a ridiculous number.
Know the answer to this now.
I bet it's such a ridiculous number. I don't know.
Just in English.
Just in English? Oh, honestly, I bet it's something stupid like frickin' 50.
Way more.
More? More than 50?
Way more.
Sweet Jesus. Are we in the
more than 50 editions of Dracula just in England.
Just in England. We're in the hundreds?
Yeah.
Go on then.
In just English, so the UK, the USA, Ireland, Canada, including the 1901 abridged edition, which is a very funny story, there are 132 editions, not prints, like full editions.
Oh my days.
There are a further 93 in all kinds of languages. So there's 225 editions of Dracula across all languages and publications. It's a thing I know now. Here's a fun one that surprised me. This is a random trivia with me now, based on my research this week. What do you think, other than English, is the most... which language do you think there is the most editions of Dracula in? This fucking blew my mind.
Well, I'm assuming because it blew your mind, it's not English.
The most is English.
Yeah.
After that, the one after that, or at least I should say country, not language, because a lot.
Country.
My guess for this is also a high number, but it's not the highest.
France? French?
France is a high number. It's got 8 different printed editions of Dracula. It's the joint third.
Joint third? Huh.
Joint with Italian, if you wanted to.
Italian? Is it German?
I thought it would be German. German has 20 printed editions of Dracula, but it is not the highest. I for sure thought it would be.
Huh. Is it freaking Romanian?
There's only there's 2 printed editions of Dracula in Rome.
Wow, the fact that you now know that.
Oh, yeah.
Go on then.
It's Spain and Catalan. Have 39 printed editions of Dracula. They've said Spain and Catalan, obviously, depending on where you sit on that, but like 39? Like, Germany is obsessed with Dracula and they only have 20.
That is wild.
It makes me laugh that there's 2 Icelandic, because the Icelandic edition of Dracula is so infamous. I'm assuming one of them is like classic meme of the Icelandic translation, and one is an actually correct translation of Dracula.
Oh, Iceland.
Iceland was the first Icelandic was the first language Dracula was translated into, but as we found out in like 1980 something, the version they translated is a completely original piece of fiction. if you didn't know this story, the first 3 chapters are translated correctly, but from that point on, the translator essentially constructed an original narrative.
Wow.
Because no one checked it. Because Bram Stoker didn't speak Icelandic. So when in like 1986 or something, translated it back into English, we're like, this is not Dracula.
This is not Dracula.
So there's it's so funny. But we haven't known for years and years and years. There was this Icelandic copy of Dracula that people just thought was correct. It's very funny. Anyway, that's my research for this week.
Wild.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. So, I have a vague memory. I wonder if it's real. Yes. What time was this recorded at? 4 a.m.
Oh.
I have 3 voice notes from myself.
Amazing.
Which I seem to recall were an idea. From 4:01 a.m. this morning. I think they pertain to a novel I have not touched in a very long time.
Oh, fair enough. Hello, Das.
Oh, hello. How are we this morning? It's morning.
Looks out the window. Bruh. It's alright, Das. It's just one of those days. We get it.
No, don't.
Good night.
Oh, goodbye. Writings. Nope. Where are you? Hey, I remember this fucking folder. Draft 1, third person backup. Draft 2, chapter 1. Draft 3, chapter 1, The Revengeing. Draft 5, I swear to God I will get this voice right. Draft 6, this bitch is going back into 3rd. Draft 6, this bitch is going back into 3rd, auto-recovered. Draft, 7, I think. I actually don't know which edition of this is correct.
Amazing.
One is dated. Latest. Probably this one. 5:35 a.m. That seems right. No, it's gonna be this guy. Yes. But it's dated a full year after the rest. Oh no, it's a month later because it goes over December, January. New opening on that monitor. Pages long, so this is pretty long. God, I haven't touched this in so long.
Speaking of things that we haven't touched in so long, I actually got to play some Final Fantasy today, as you saw.
Hey!
I did 5 quests, but in that period of time, I was like, "Oh, cinematics. Ooh, important fights," and then at the very end, "Oh, Terry Pratchett reference? What?
Probably.
What?" I
Where you at now?
even leaned over to Spook and I was like, "Do you think this is a Terry Pratchett reference?" And
Oh, probably. What zone are you in right now, Yangsha?
I'm in Yangsha, and I think I am literally about to go to your homeland.
You going to reunion?
I think so.
What's that?
I think so.
I have to be online when you go there.
I think I'm literally talking to NPCs to be like, "Okay, we're gonna go to the next zone because we're done here."
You have to message me. I will drop everything I am doing as long as I am not in class to be there.
Fair enough. It might be a case of like waking you up early before you go to class tomorrow. Then
Waking me up early. Come on.
early for you, so you know.
Hey now. My God, I forgot I have 4 playlists for this thing.
But yeah, if I put aside some time to like do some tomorrow, I could potentially do it tomorrow. Before we have D&D.
I love the Sun. Yeah. Not just because it's Iphignia's homeland, I do also just love it.
So yeah, obviously I had to unpack all of the stuff that happens before that. gotta meet everybody.
What do you mean?
Gotta meet everybody's favourite person again. And he loves me.
Everyone's least favourite person. Yes, he sure does.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would be great if he loved you just a little bit less.
You just described my relationship with like every villain that I have in every game ever.
I know, I'm aware I'm part of the problem.
I would like it if you liked me less. It would make it much easier for me to get on with hating you.
A bastard, yeah, Das knows. Bro bastard. That's my boy.
Yep. Joke's on him though, because I broke something of his and I'm keeping it, bitch.
There's a lot to be said about that man. A lot to be said. And will be said. When the day is done.
On many occasions.
Yo, on semi-related things, we can't really engage with this much. Well, you can't anyway. But did you fucking hear that Jesse and JP interviewed Yoshi P?
I did! I saw it on Twitter and I was like, excuse me?
I'm so excited to watch that. Most of you guys can't watch it, I would assume. I will vet it and tell you.
I'm gonna assume that it won't be safe to watch. I mean, what kind of like business representative has Jesse got now? Because he just released a video with freaking Jeff Goldblum.
Do you know he told the story of how he got that on stream the other day?
Oh, did he?
He was streaming Fire Masquerade Bloodlines with Octo. And Octo was like, how the fuck did you do that, guy? And he's like, he was friends with someone, I think, when they were at CD Projekt Red.
Ah, yes, I did know Jesse had friends there, yeah.
Who then went into Hollywood and that kind of space. Or at least, it might have been the studio that's producing the game, actually. I think Flashpoint, is that what they're called?
I think so, yeah. Rings a bell.
They called him up and was like, yo, do you want to do something crazy? And Jesse, asking no questions, was like, yes, absolutely.
I would
and
expect
it just
nothing less.
Turned out to be that. Apparently, Jesse was telling this story that Jeff Goldblum has this, like, trick that he does with this game they were playing, where Jeff Goldblum would be like, name a actor. Jesse would name an actor, and he would list every movie they had ever been in. Then he'd be like, now name a movie. And Jesse would name a movie, and he would list every actor in that movie. He was just like an encyclopedia of movies, apparently.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Weird, apparently. But apparently he was really nice. Like, apparently exactly as the dynamic is on camera was off camera, so.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of the video, but I remember watching it.
I haven't watched any of it.
I've watched some of it, and probably about half of it, and I remember thinking, wow, he really just has so much charisma.
Yeah,
but I remember also thinking, just like, wow, he just keeps going. He is not coming up for breath. Wow.
Yep.
And people have said to me, it's like, it's Jeff Goldblum. Are you gonna interrupt him or tell him to be quiet? And I was like, hell no.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, Jesse was saying that, and then the Yoshi P thing at least makes more sense because I know JP, did the Forward and Back Again podcast for a while, where literally like JP would just every like half an expansion he would interview Jesse basically about what he thought was happening and what he thought about the story so far. And that was like pretty popular for a while because obviously he was kind of new, but he's also someone who's like well known for loving a good story and also MMOs. So. Also, part of the group that runs one of the biggest free companies in Final Fantasy. Crowdathorn, Sam's free company. It's one of the most popular free companies in Final Fantasy. So. Yeah. Yeah, that at least makes more sense. And also Yoshi P is very like in the community in that way.
Yeah.
Like Soka always reacts to Husky and Alex Musaka's others. Very cute. Yeah, it's the press tour for Endwalker at the moment if people want to wear, so be careful if you're not up to date.
I see.
It's the press tour. There's a lot of interviews with the voice actors going around, which you should not read. And the official press tour starts tomorrow.
I see.
If you want to watch something and you're not sure, you can always send it to me. I will tell you if it's safe.
I've gotten pretty comfortable with the idea that I will not be up to date and thus will not be playing Endwalker on release. So I've literally just accepted that is not going to happen. I am not going to finish 2 expansions in a month.
Yeah. I have realised that the week of Endwalker, the Tuesday? 4? Might be the actual Friday. I have like a pretty major presentation to do.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that'll be my reward that weekend.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah. At least it's not the week after, right?
Yeah, because that's when you want to.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Really gotta double check. I saw the fear in your eyes there.
Research presentation.
No fear, one fear.
Yeah, I was like, it's fine anyway because it's a pretty minor. A minute. My research proposal. Give me just a second. I know I shouldn't be doing uni work on stream. I apologize. The rule I'm gonna have to make for myself. I will not stop otherwise.
Look, you tell me off when I'm doing work on stream.
Very true.
We're good. Okay, we're good.
It's also January. It's fine.
I mean, that week's got me covered anyway because it's Pokemon that week, so I got Pokemon to distract myself.
But yeah. There will be no lifing that weekend. No shame.
Yeah, I'll be sat on Discord, just sort of in the channel with you, like with one earphone in, just on my Switch, and you're there just going, pain, and I'm just gonna be like,
Yep.
I'm here for you, buddy, but also I can't understand what you're going through. I caught a Murkrow.
The thing is, I will understand what you're talking about, but you won't be able to understand what I'm talking about.
And part of me, the one inconvenience that I've thought of for Pokemon is the fact that I've kind of already decided I want a Honchkrow in my team, and I believe Murkrow is a nighttime Pokemon, and obviously I'm gonna have to wait until like 6 o'clock in the evening before I can get a Murkrow on my team, and I'll have already been playing...
I'll just petrify you in Oakheart again, and you can do it.
Yay! Time skip! Woo! I'll wake up in the morning and just be sitting there playing it, and I'll just be like, can it be nighttime so I can get my Murkrow, please? Correct.
Probably not. My lecture today finished early. Tomorrow I will almost certainly finish late.
Fair.
That's how it goes with them.
Fair. We can manage that. We can manage that, boyo.
I mean, there's an RP that I need to do. And one that me and Kay need to do, we didn't do last week, so...
I'm sure, I think at literally any time in any campaign, the DM just needs to say, look, I just need you guys to roleplay for a bit, and we can do that. We are always able to do that. There will always be somebody in the party who wants to speak to someone else. Or potentially...
Sometimes you need a bit of plot to happen.
Or potentially needs speaking to by other people. Like, I don't know if Lo and Kika necessarily want to talk to somebody, but if somebody were to talk to them, they probably need that. Oh, I almost forgot. I was gonna send you this, Das. It's on my phone.
I haven't looked at this work in forever.
I was gonna scan it with the scanner, but I couldn't get it to frickin' work, so it's on my phone. because I did this literally on the last day of my holiday, so I was like, oh, I'll just scan it when I get home, and then I couldn't get the scanner to work, so I was like, well, photo it is. And then I forgot to send it. Da-da-da. Where are we? Scroll back, scroll back, scroll back. There it is. There we go. Yeah. To go back to what you said earlier, it doesn't relate to this at all. This is just my ADHD brain changing the topic. To what you said earlier, Das, that is another thing that can go on the blue character bingo of this having this amazing knack of making enemies interested in me, which is a lot worse than just having them be mad at you.
When I was at your house when we went on our walk, we had a very long discussion about this, didn't we?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, like all of the major villains with any character that I've had in the background, it's never been just like, oh, it's just a person that I fight with or who hates me. It's always somebody who's like interested or curious or trying to learn something, and it's somehow worse. It's worse.
I think, like, no. You can't have an arch nemesis without obsession.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You can't. Even if you have a villain that violently hates you, they're obsessed with you.
Yes.
But, like, that's why, you know, enemies to lovers is like a trope that people like, because it de facto there is an obsession about the person. If you're gonna be arch nemesis, if your life revolves around this other person, there is almost in a non-contradictory kind of way, there has to be like a connection there, right?
Yeah. It is the good stuff.
It's the good shit.
It is the good shit right there. It's just another one to put on the bingo card of like, it happens all the time for me. I guess it is just because it is the trope that I really like.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Coming back round, Drew down. I'll send it to Curls, sure. Let me get my phone back up again. I'll send it to Curls. It's not like it's a big secret. Especially because I think I literally told everyone the moment it happened. I was just like, oh, baby.
Terrified of listening to these audio recordings back because I don't know what it's gonna sound like. Baby!
Babies!
Oh, it's so cute.
Got a friend.
Cute. Very cute.
Excited for friend.
Excited for friend.
Manifest friend.
Manifest.
I'm renaming the spell. This is what it's called now. It's Manifest friend.
Exact opposite of what my RP is going to be.
I'm just waiting for me to finish these lines so I can do random Pokemon and for it to give me the freaking Pokemon that I missed out on the event, just to make me even more angry. Freaking 2 in 800 chance, and it's just gonna be like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna make you angry again.
I'm gonna head off to bed, guys.
I've never wanted it to be not Ninetales more.
Tomorrow. See you later, guys.
Who knows, you might land in Phandalin tomorrow, then a gravitational pull will launch you out of Phandalin. Honestly, our inability to get from Neverwinter to Phandalin, a journey that we did all the time.
It's true. It is funny. We're just gonna We're just gonna slingshot out of it like they do with satellites when they go around Mars. It uses Mars's gravitational pull to fling it back at Earth. We're just gonna go round Phandalin and then get rocketed back to Neverwinter.
Honestly, like, it's funny to me that, like, in the journey of the campaign, this, like, this arc that we're in is literally just trying to get to Phandalin arc. Like, it's an arc at this point. There's enough episodes of us just trying to get to Phandalin.
When will my party return to Phandalin?
Not even return, we've never been!
I've been!
Yeah, but, like, as a party, we haven't been.
Kika is an outlier and should not be counted.
Correct. So funny. In the end, we're gonna have to be teleported to Phandalin,
Yeah.
just so we can actually get there.
As soon as you mentioned the Soul Forged us, I remember it vividly reappeared in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, that was the name of the thing, and that was where Kirok got Gloria and Ash to hold hands.
Correct. That's where we got Galatoria.
I felt so smart. I felt so smart when I did that. I was literally just role-playing Kirok being weird, and ended up being correct.
Do you know what's funny? I think that's before that was like a thing, right? Like, I don't think we got together until SKT, right?
I don't think you officially got together, no.
Foreshadowing.
Yes.
Together in SKT, yeah.
But I was like, just take.
It's
take
weird
the,
to think of
take
the
thing,
pre-Glory Ash time.
Take the thing, take the other thing, and just bash them together. Oh hey, that works!
I also remember the Soul Forge because it's where I found the gold dragon scale.
Yeah.
It was a tiny, innocuous part of Goro's backstory that I did not think anyone paid attention to.
Iconic.
It's like, oh yeah, that was the part of the description of like the shop that Legacy had that they were growing up. Like, oh, there was this crazy like gold plate or whatever I said, dragon scale plate or something. She always looked up to and wanted, but she wasn't strong enough. And I was like, oh shit. Well, that works.
Kirok forever and always being the ultimate wingman.
Yeah, literally. Because wings.
Random Pokemon generator. Lucario Mega specifically.
Mega Lucario, hell yes.
Mega Lucario is very specific, but okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, but Das, in my defense, dragons mean something different in your world than mine.
Oh, thank you, Google, for reminding me of this fantastic scene. The scene where Pikachu first encounters a Mega Lucario and gets fucking destroyed, and I mean destroyed. It's where that gif of Pikachu being hit with that freaking bone comes from. It's from that fight. Ping!
God, Mega Lucario is so good.
This is the
Lucario is so good in general, but...
Yeah, it is, and then they made it even stronger. The thing is that like I haven't actually seen the fight all the way through. I've literally only seen clips via the internet, but I seem to recall that when he gets punted the first time, the Lucario hasn't even Mega Evolved yet. That's just regular Lucario, and then he proceeds to Mega Evolve, And it goes worse. It gets worse from there. Like, I think at one point he just freaking bites Pikachu and just like tries to just eat him. Because
Lucario in the anime is always so like a creature of myth almost. Lucario, right?
yeah,
I mean, gestures at Lucario and the Mystery Mew. Yeah, like
yeah,
Lucarios are so fucking cool always.
yeah. Lucario's super cool.
Whoever wrote
Because the thing is that in the lore of the game, it's in the lore of the games and is very clearly represented in the anime. Mega Evolution actually like drives most Pokemon crazy. If you ever read any of the descriptions of them, it's really bad for them.
Oh shit.
Which is why there's why the Pikachu fighting Mega Lucario is kind of famous, because the trainer with the Mega Lucario basically couldn't handle it, so he does kind of just go insane and almost freaking kills
kill Pikachu,
he tries to
yeah.
kill Pikachu, and everyone's like, whoa, what?
Yeah. Oh my god, I do think I remember that now. Season's that? X and Y?
It's
No.
yeah, it's X and Y's
X and
Mega
Y?
Evolution.
Then I have seen it because I've seen all of X and Y. And all of the X and Y anime.
I don't know.
Few seasons I've seen all of. Oh yeah. Yep.
So if you look at like say, I mean they're all crazy. Mega Steelix has like crystal protrusions coming out of it. If you look at the Pokédex entry for Mega Steelix, it's not like those are decorations. That is actual crystal that is jutting out of Steelix's body and is physically harming it. and the Pokédex entry is literally just like, it's in pain. But
It's like, oh, okay.
But they're like all like that. Mega Evolutions are so weird when you read their Pokédex entries.
I was like, why were we allowed to do this? I'm gonna quickly mute and listen to these voice notes I left myself. And you get to watch my reaction, but you don't get to hear it. I'll see if there's anything worth making anything out of. One sec.
Yeah, I suppose that's because in Blood and Sand, because it was an early time for us in 5th edition, a lot of the stuff is just like book stuff. Obviously you tweak it, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I use a lot of just book stuff in my campaigns, whereas because Curls made this world from scratch when she was like 10, it wasn't influenced by D&D. Which is why she like told us at the start of like, oh, dragons in my world are not the same as D&D dragons. Probably just because I like what I'm used to, because I'm so used to how 5e does its dragons whenever I do any kind of game. That's just like what I kind of default to now, of metallic and chromatic and breath types and stuff, because I just kind of like it.
Return. Definitely something here.
Mm-hmm. You'll enjoy this. Houndoom! Mega Houndoom! Its red claws and the tip of its tail are melting from high internal temperatures that are painful to Houndoom itself. Yeah! Who okayed this?
Who said this was okay? What the fuck? I was like, why am I getting so many Twitch notifications? I think my Twitch notifications come through in batches. But Dodge's like Twitch notification chat, like her like description is the naked cat boy your mum warned you about. I'm assuming she's streaming Final Fantasy 'cause she's a naked cat boy. She always has been for as long as I've watched her. I wonder what she's doing. Not Super Cousin time either. Interesting.
Mega Skizzer has 4 different entries and they're all awful.
Blue, get out of this rabbit hole. You're meant to be doing warm up.
The excess energy that that Phase's Pokemon keeps it in constant danger of overflow. It can't sustain over long periods of time. Due to the effects of Mega Evolution, its pincers have taken on a more diabolical form, ripping anything they pinch to shreds. It stores excess energy from Mega Evolution, so after a long time, its body starts to melt.
Get out of here. You're meant to be doing warm up.
Mega Evolution is fucked up. Yeah, I've watched that video, which is why I know a lot of these.
Also something. Back to that. A document in my writing thing, which was just called A Thing About Something. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yes,
and
good.
it's just like the beginning of I think a short story. I think could be something. I need to work on that later, I think. Need to find the vibe. To locate the vibe for this.
You have to find the vibe.
I took. Where is it? This? You'll have all my playlists from when I was writing this the first time. I might have to mute quite sections of this because I'm gonna quickly just transcribe exactly what I put in my voice note last night because I apparently I can tell how tired I am in this. Said it as it should be written, so I'm gonna have to transcribe it for a second. Actually, I should be able to open it on my computer. That would be easier, actually. easier than having it up on my phone. Cloud-based notes. Useful. I hate that my notes saved them in the wrong order, though.
That's unfortunate.
I need a better voice notes program, because I'm just using my Google Keep. But the thing is, with the Google Keep, the voice notes thing, it only records for as long as you keep talking. So if you take like a pause or a breath, it stops. I'm like, I can't talk that quickly. When I'm, taking voice notes at 4 o'clock in the morning. I need a better voice notes program, because I definitely have a lot of things of like, I can't physically stay awake long enough to type this. I could just quickly say it and then do it in the morning. That's something. what I can make out of that.
You alright, huh?
The back pains.
Hmm. Good night, Anne.
Be quiet.
I'll try.
Back to work tomorrow.
Every time. The distant. She has had her electric bed turned back on because it is getting cooler, so she seems quite content to sleep in it.
Yeah. Be there 24/7. She'll never leave.
She hasn't even today. We'll see what happens. Because he likes to dump her in here so she doesn't meow at him, but if she's content to stay in the bed, then she might not have to be moved. So, based off current advertisements, seems like there won't be a Mega Lucario in the new games. There's no hint that any modern mechanics will be in them.
Oh, right. So, well, that makes sense. Would actually be more surprised if there were.
Yeah, they did add them into when they remade Ruby and Sapphire.
Hmm. To be fair, I didn't know Ruby and Sapphire any other way.
Fair. Yeah. So that was something that a lot of people speculated, because they were like, you know, you added Mega Evolution into Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so what's going to happen in the Sinnoh remakes? Are they going to have Dynamaxing? Are they going to have Z moves?
Yeah.
Are they going to have
If
Mega
anything,
Evolution?
It makes sense to me do that to Alpha Sapphire but not to Pearl. Like, that makes sense to me, but I don't know if I can articulate why that makes sense to me.
Well, again, you said that you don't know Ruby and Sapphire any other way.
True. No. I feel like no. I feel like even though they're getting a remake, Diamond and Pearl still feel like more modern Pokemon games. No?
I mean, it was a leap in system. Going to the DS.
Oh, that's true. Because, yeah, Diamond and Pearl didn't have, like, a system like that, I guess. Kind of before that, Mickey.
Yeah, well, the next ones were Black and White, which also didn't really have a gimmick, and then X and Y started it.
X and Y started it, and we haven't been able to stop since.
Yeah. Also, X and Y. I think it's been like, I think I saw today that Cerebi tweeted that it's like the 8th anniversary of X and Y or something.
Still hold up, those games.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I'm very, very good. Continue my X replay.
I did dabble a bit in Ultra Sun while I was on holiday. Advanced it a little bit more. Still not at the point where I can get all the freaking Pokemon I'm missing.
Yeah, I'll have to try and catch you up.
It's one of those
I don't know how much I can. I've also got Ultra Sun, so I can help you with additions there. I recall they're not version exclusive, are they? The legendaries.
I think some of them are. The Ultra Beast. It's the Ultra Beast that I need, and I think some of them are version exclusives. So if anything, if you're offering me yours, I may pinch them for equivalent trades with other people.
Yeah.
Which may be the case. I don't know.
Yeah, as I said to you before, like, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the hunt, but then once I've done them, I have nothing to do with them anymore. Like, I've done it. Congrats. It's the getting them that is the fun for me. So, if you've got uses for them, you can have them.
Slowly making baby steps on my living decks.
Yeah.
Mega Lucario, more detailed than I first thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of tendrils.
It's not even the tendrils, it's like all his fluff and body markings as well. Got like a bunch of body markings when he Mega Evolved. unlocked Heaven on High today as well. I just remembered.
Hey, crazy fucking place that is. Whatever you expect, you know, like House of the Dead's story from 1 to 50 was like about like necromancy, and it was like creepy. Whatever you expect from the Heaven on High story, forget it. Forget it.
Okay.
It's insane. It's very short,
Fair enough.
much like Palace's is. Heaven on High goes all the way up to a ridiculous floor number, but it only has plot for the first 30. It's madness. Heaven on High doesn't fuck around either, because you have to have done Palace to do it, and it works the same way, more or less, with plus or minus a few new mechanics. It doesn't hold your hand. It's like, good luck. Go in at 50 or 6? No, you go in at 60, I think, to 70. You like reach max level very quickly, and then it's just like, get stupid.
Cool.
It will punish you. Music in there is fucking incredible as well. Music in there is very, very good. Like Palace, it's very good for leveling. It's kind of like it's a good 60 to 70 spot. Until you, and then 70 plus you just go to the war.
Yeah. So now that I have actually got 17 on my rogue now, so I may want to do some Palace to get that leveled up at some point. But at the same time, obviously we've got the run where we've got to 50 now, and that's with my Arcanist, which still needs leveling. So content to continue that run just for leveling.
Yeah.
Now, especially because you said that like once you're at 50, the leveling's quicker. You said.
Again, sorry.
You said that when you get to actually like floor 50 at Palace of the Dead, the leveling's quicker.
Oh, I don't know if that's true. It might be.
I thought someone said
Maybe
that.
it sounds correct.
I thought somebody had said that. It was like you get more XP for doing those floors.
That might be true. Very much might be true. That makes sense. I don't know if it's true, but that's correct. It's actually, yeah, 50 to 60. Yeah, that is true. 50 to 60, yeah. But you grind, yeah. Grind floors 50 to 60 for leveling, so. That probably is true. I've been leveling shit with beast tribes because that's ridiculous. I had no idea how much beast tribes gave you, but holy shit.
I only really done one beast tribe, and it's a Realm Reborn one, so I imagine it's very tame.
Realm Reborn ones are shit compared to every other expansion.
Fair enough.
Realm Reborn ones are a pain in the ass. They give you 20 rep per? No. Realm Reborn ones give you 20 rep per. Fucking any expansion that's not Realm Reborn gives you 60 per.
Oh, wow, that's okay.
It's much quicker, and it gives you a lot more XP.
I've done well to get this far then, because I think I'm pretty. Even though I've only done one, I'm quite high with them.
Give up with the Amalja really quick.
Yeah, I started the Exile,
Oh, the Exile, yeah. I've done a Bloodsworn with the Ananta, nearly Bloodsworn with the Kojin. Then I'm friendly or trusted. I'm on my way to Sworn with the Pixies. Yeah, if you do the Beast Tribe like in the expansion that you're in, the XP is fucking ungodly. Or at least the levels that you're in, right? Obviously there's only so many of them that are for combat classes. I have
the
full list.
Ixalar crafting one.
The full list of all the combat ones. Alja, Pixies, Ananta, Sylph, Kobolds, Vanu, Hagen, Nath, Kojin. It's a thing I have to hand. Like a normal person.
This leg looks jank as fuck, but I'm leaving it there because warm-up is once
It's a
again
warm-up
taking...
and it's 9:30.
Yeah, warm-up has taken far too long. Slap some colour on this boy and leave it. Future. I can hear the sound of the microwave. I think the hot water bottle is coming out. Spook is feeling the chill, and I don't.
Yes. It's our time.
Yeah.
I put my hoodie on underneath a jacket. That's how you know.
Yes. When we went for a walk today, I only put my hoodie on when we got sort of like halfway down the road. I sort of thought, oh, I probably could do with putting a coat over this, and then I was just like, yes,
Yes, we live.
This is true, because I think the summer is officially over now. And he went, yeah, it's a good thing, and I went, yes, be gone, summer.
Big on. Autumn. It's tricky at the moment because my lectures start while it's still light, but when I leave it's full nighttime.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm way too hot right now, but when I walk home I'm gonna freeze if I don't do this. It's a good feeling.
Shout out to Spotify for weaponizing playlists. Shout out to Spotify for.
Are we talking about this?
Yeah.
The violence done against me and my person.
Oh, you think you alone are innocent?
What do you mean? I'm not. See, this is the thing. I don't know what goes on the other end of our blend playlists. I only see the wrongs done to me by you and Kay.
Moi? What could I have done?
Fucking Wii music.
Look, sometimes you just gotta.
I remember the context of when that came on now. I can't remember the story. I'd have to open my own Twitter to remember the context of the story. Which I am gonna do. Like K's, I've just learned to live. Context for anyone in Stream Chat who doesn't know. There's a thing on Spotify called blend playlists, where you match with one of your friends and you make a playlist that's combined.
Oh,
it updates daily,
Have you been
and they're
vacated
combined.
From the bed?
Oh.
Aww. Well, there's a chair here. Chair. Oh, she keeps looking at the door. Oh, you
Oh,
want your
bless.
bed, don't you? Oh, you're cold. Would you like it if I put the blanket on there? Blanket? No. No movement. Carry on.
Yeah, this is it. Fuck me. Yeah, there's a thing on Spotify where you make a blend playlist between you and one other person, and it merges your music taste, or the part of your music taste that you have in common, and then updates every day. And I've accepted at this point that K's is just a roulette with Lahi. It's accepted at this point. Because it's a bunch of musical, like me and Kay's music taste is very similar. It's a bunch of musicals, a bunch of rock music, a bunch of emo music, and then Lahi. And that's because, not because I listen to Lahi, but because I listen to that album, and Kay listens to Lahi a lot. So it's like, the overlap of these two things is Lahi.
Yeah, so it's some of the song, a majority of the songs are songs that like both of you would listen to, but occasionally I have noticed that it will just throw in stuff that like you have never listened to, but the other person has. Because
Yeah,
I
if you
have
open it on your
discovered-
phone, you can
yeah.
see who
I've discovered
you
new
both listen
music.
to it.
I occasionally get a new song from like you or from Das to be, and I'm like, I've actually never heard this before.
Noticed that I have propagated easier than lying, which I didn't mean to do. In that it was on everyone's, or like a couple people's, because I listened to it so much. Then because it's on their playlist and they've listened to it, it's ended up on spread. But yeah, I was listening to Blues playlist, mine and Blues blend, while I was doing research at like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, normal research
Yeah,
hours.
we're gonna brush over that bit.
Yeah. I was listening to it so that I could avoid the Lahi. And then the Me Channel team came on. And I literally remember because I was literally like really like intensely looking at my monitor, like deep in research, like it was due the next day. I was like, okay, I have to get this done. And then just do 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 do, and I was just like, I literally like looked to camera, you know, like,
spiritually contacting me.
like I think I literally said I'm gonna kill you out loud to nobody.
Yes. Live for the chaos.
See, our playlist is particularly chaotic because some of the stuff they pull from me is like my, you know, like Maneskin and Royal Blood and stuff. And then from you, it's like Minecraft music.
It's only because
Zelda's Lullaby.
It's only because obviously I listen to the stream playlist every week religiously, so all of the music on there pretty much just gets piled into that, which obviously is all of like the lo-fi and all of it. So that's why mine is essentially tainted by the fact that I literally have to listen to this playlist every week because I can't have any other music on. I pretty much never listen to this outside of streams, otherwise I would actually be fed up with it.
Yeah.
It's only because it's so large that I'm happy with it, because I get a wide variety.
Yeah. I need to check actually. I found out my favourite lo-fi playlist at the moment is also on Spotify, and I'll double check to see if you use it on stream because it's Halloween themed, and that might be fun.
Halloween.
Very good.
Halloween.
I have found the ultimate Halloween lo-fi YouTube playlist that's also on Spotify. So. It's very, very good. It makes me laugh with these playlists because we all linked with each other. They are becoming more and more the same playlist.
Yeah, I realised this afterwards. I was like, the law of averages surely means that eventually all of these playlists will become the same because it's like the last 2 weeks or so, I've not really listened to my other playlists. I've just listened to the blend playlist.
Yeah. They are merging
They're just
in
going
a
to become.
meaningful way.
They're just going to become blends of one another.
None of you can escape the hearse by. Oh, who's that by? Mason. Hearse. It's just appearing one by one on all the different playlists. They update daily. They don't like update super radically daily, which upsets me a little bit because
Yeah.
I, like what I listen to on the day to day is radically different from day to day, but the playlist doesn't change that much.
Again, I feel like I feel like it takes some kind of average into account.
Yeah, I think there are certain songs that are just like I'm never going to be able to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because I've just like I had a thing of listening to them a lot like 4 months ago. It's like a. It's the one from the new Cinderella musical. It's like I went through a week of listening to that. Then I haven't listened to it since, but because I listened to it so much then, it's kind of in my top songs still.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't get rid of it. I was gonna listen to that Halloween lo-fi. Well, I've mentioned it. I'm gonna look it up and see. A rabbit hole there. Back to what I was doing.
Bam, that's done. Took far too long.
Yeah. The cool lighting in there at the end.
something I still can't get used to with Clip Studio Paint, unfortunately. So I'm used to in Photoshop of being able to like use the lasso tool and then just immediately like click and drag to move it, but with Clip Studio Paint, if you click and drag, it just redoes the lasso. Still not used to having to manually switch over to the move tool in order to move what I've lassoed. It's like a unnecessary extra step. You can think of the pictures potentially used for a reference, but then you have to try and find it again.
Jesus, yeah. It's hyper-specific Googling time. The most I'm going to get out of that for now. I can't really work more on that because it's for the ending of something I haven't written the middle of.
I see.
It's like, that's a good idea for the ending. You should do the middle bit first. With the beginning. The beginning and the end, but not the middle. The long bit. Fuck it, I might keep working on thing. Partly because I'm in editing how anyway, so the more I can push past that, the better.
Yes, hello. Aww. What's the matter? Do you want to go back on the bed? Do you promise to be quiet? Okay, I'm gonna go
Hello, Frog. Hello. I think it's harder for Blue because obviously she draws a lot of non-human characters. I should say characters without human proportions.
Grumpy about imprisonment, but also slightly hungry.
Mood.
Hello, Frog. It's always the trick. Go find a reference. Sketch immediately becomes 5 million times better.
Ah yes, the challenge of I've just moved from one piece to another piece. What tense is and person is this one in? Surprise, past third. I made this section worse. Wonderful.
God, I'm dumb.
Have you done?
You know the thing that I was just complaining about? I found a button, clicked it, solved it.
That's how it goes. Probably not the first one to ever have the problem with the software.
brain, don't concentrate.
Pay attention.
I was immediately like, oh, I need to show Kels this thing because she might not know. And then I was like, no.
Oh.
I was like, no, I need to concentrate, no.
It can wait. It can wait.
So, no, brain, if you go and fetch this thing, you will talk about it for the next half hour.
We'll talk about it later.
I always have to sort of remind myself, even though it's my character, that Blue has more muscle than you might think. I have to remind myself.
Yeah. But you got a bunch of frail little birds now.
Yeah, I'm so like, I got frail birds.
I remember your wolves are buff.
Yeah, I got frail little birds, and then also Delmara. So now they're in the majority of having no strength. Going back to Blue and remembering, oh yeah, she's a wolf, so she's like tonk as fuck. Just because she's a pacifist, it never comes up that she's actually pretty strong. She just doesn't.
She's fucking shredded.
She's not shredded because like she doesn't train. She's
No,
just
that was me.
she just naturally is strong. And she just like doesn't use it very often. But it's like, oh yeah, she could carry a person just easily.
Oh, frog update?
A frog update! Hey! It's looking good, love it.
Hey, look at that boy.
Here comes the boy.
Leg.
Me, Stacy, drawing our characters playing with our familiars.
That's true. Puck's birthday. It depends. If you mean Puck's birthday is in the day he entered the narrative, can actually tell you that.
True, but he said himself that he existed before then.
Yeah. But like, I mean for purposes.
True.
Day that Puck, like, in real life entered the story.
Summoning day.
0.5. Many of these notes start with me and Runara do this terrible thing. I don't think it was this long ago. Before Faith.
Hey girls, guess what song just came on?
Frustrate me endlessly.
No thoughts, head empty.
Look, it was before this. It was definitely before this. there's Puck. Puck also was then. Things that have paid off since I wrote that note. So, Puck was not this long ago. No, Puck was not this long ago. After this, the first time I mention Puck is not first time he appears. Maybe it is.
It was, trying to think, it was in one of the towns when we were travelling north. Was it Port Lust?
First time I mention Low talks to Puck is after the Dragon and Gith fight, which doesn't feel right.
I feel like it was in an inn, because I remember he came downstairs to introduce him, and majority of people were like, "What the heck is this?" And Kika was like, "Cool, have some breakfast."
This is the date because
unfazed.
Next one is Lo comes down for breakfast, drive by Puck. Puck is perplexed. Da, da, da. So it was this one.
Yes.
That was 17th of March.
Oh, yeah. It's as good a date as any, unless the DM wishes to provide another one.
And the one where he was introduced to the party was my birthday. It was the 31st of March.
Hey!
I forgot we played D&D on my birthday.
A rare occurrence.
Was a short episode by my notes.
That means combat probably happened.
Ooh. It was a shopping episode.
Shopping, yeah. It was gonna be one or t'other.
It was large merfolk friend. It was that session. So Pucks and Ares.
Giant woman.
Ares squad. Pisces? Oh yeah, it changes the week before my birthday, doesn't it? Aries is all April. I can believe that Puck's a Pisces. I see that for him.
embarrassed because I noticed. You going in the box? No. No, I'm just gonna sit. Alright.
Oh my god.
Gotcha.
Very noisy.
Oh, I got you. Yes, I did.
Has she been captured?
You have been obtained. Mwah.
That's what that noise was.
That was the no! Unhand me! Ooh, unhappy. There you go, you can get to the chair from here now though, can't you? There we go. Ow. Oh, bless. Oh, is that the good spot? Oh, behind here. Yes. Oh, good spot. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. Ah. Boop.
Doing something narratively here, which is very fun.
Oh yes, I think we did
But
this.
it's also
I think we did this once before.
this. We're talking about in chat.
Yeah, the thing with the calendar.
To convert the Mizanian calendar
Yeah, I think
to
we've done it
modern
once
calendar.
before because we tried to
I think you
approximate it.
can do it. Yeah, I think you can do it if you like chop the months up a bit.
Yeah, I think,
Obviously, the Mizanian calendar's only got 7 months, but they're 49 days. We kind of counted it, if I recall.
I feel like we've tried to approximate this before and did come up with
Yeah.
a rough estimate.
Yeah. Doing something very fun narratively blue, which is in my edit I can change some of the way I made it a little closer to X's headspace. I'm back in this
Ooh.
again. Which means I just like from the shits and giggles, I'm making her approach pretty much every situation like a dragoon.
Yes.
I'm using a lot of like how you would take down a dragon analogy. Just like a lot of it's just little things here and there that are like, oh god, it's a lot of fun.
So the 180 in like the Dragoon quests when you go into the Stormblood ones is fantastic because obviously all the level 51s is a lot of, you know, building up to dragons, and you know, you make your own dragoon armor which involves, you know, killing dragons and things like that, and then of course there's all of Heavensward. And weirdly the dragoon
Gestures at Heavensward.
weirdly because I guess because Heavensward itself focuses on dragons so much, there's not too much like individual, like there's no focus on an individual dragon. It's more about your
Yeah.
it's more about your student, the Heavensward one. But obviously-
Heavensward they loved giving you a student.
yeah, Heavensward was about your students, but obviously there was dragons in it because you're a dragoon.
Dragoon.
But then the 180 of coming into Stormblood and just meeting Onkai and him being like, help me find my grandpa and his star-crossed lover, and I'm like, yes, I love this
Absolutely
so
I will.
Kai is like my best friend. I want to be with him all the time. This little dragon that I posted to Kagane.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't appreciate that I've
brilliant.
already nicknamed him, but I don't care.
Can't be worse than me adopting people from my quests quest lines.
Exa just turns up at the Free Company one day, just with Kai in the background, just like, this is my new dragon friend, and there's just like the computing noises in
Fignia
everyone's
would
head.
Be elated.
Just the sort of like of everybody trying to process.
Error 404, Dragoon not found.
So 6 months ago, you
Fignia
were
would be elated.
6 months ago, weren't you? Yep, but we've got past that now.
The Dragon Song War's over, damn it.
This is Kai. He is my best friend, and I'm trying to help him find his granddad.
At that point, what's that, level 60? Oh yeah, Fignia would have already adopted Aria at that point, so...
Also, the next part of Kai's quest is in the Steep, so I get to continue it, so I'm very excited.
Zim Steep. Oh my god, I'm just realizing how many terrible lessons Aria would learn from Exa. Terrible backflipping lessons.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I was literally just thinking that. We clustered again. I was just thinking, I don't know if it was intentional. It probably is because it's Final Fantasy. But Kai has a flip animation when you talk to him. And when he first did it, I was like, oh, it's like he's doing the Dragoon flip!
He's doing the little Dragoon jump!
Kai has a little flip animation, and I'm just like, oh,
so
flip,
cute.
flip! Or just a dragon and the Dragoon just doing flips.
I will say, I did the level 80 White Mage quest, and as much as I disliked playing White Mage all the way to 80, level 80 White Mage quest is very good and wholesome and good and cute.
Excellent.
Made me feel very like my heart is so full at the end of it, you know. I got a full heal. Very good. It rights some earlier wrongs, I feel. The plot. I've been watching someone I follow on my not so secret Final Fantasy alt on Twitter. Someone I follow was doing the Astro quests for the first time, which was very fun to watch because obviously I'm an Astro main.
Yes.
And the Astro quests aren't like excellent, but I knew that he would really enjoy it, and yeah, it's been very fun to watch. It's like watching someone do the Dark Knight quest for the first time. It's like, oh my god, you're in for a wild ride, my dude. Specifically, the Heaven's Ward Astro quests are just something else, man. You just end up with this squad that's just an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster team. I think it probably looks up to Levea a lot, actually. So lame. I'm just like, yes, I like that characterization of my own character. It's weird writing about your own OC through the lens of someone else's OC.
Fair, that is very fair. I imagine that is quite the experience.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to... This is part of why I'm re-editing it, is because a lot of how I characterized Fignia in the first one was like very like true to how I picture her, but I'm like, no, because this is X's POV, I need to help Fignia through X's narrative. It's hard to do.
That's my wife!
Yeah. But it's also like, you know, I'll try and talk as vaguely about this, but for those who in chat, this is set during Stormblood, the beginning of Stormblood. So at this point, they've been together for a while, at least, probably about, well, probably max like a year. They've probably settled into like a level of comfort and a pattern, but looking at what still be mysterious or tricky before, you know, what I'm about to write goes down. You know, where the, you know, the interesting stuff is, basically. It's been fun to kind of come up with that. Obviously, I'll have to read it to you once we're out of here. I've enjoyed editing it this way as well. I'm just going through paragraph by paragraph and going, I can make this better. Because the pacing and everything's fine, I can just make the actual words better. It's so much easier than normally I have to be like, tear it up, start again.
I just realised what time it is, so I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea before it gets too late for that. So I'll be right back, guys.
We'll entertain. Change what I'm listening to. I forgot they made an acoustic version of one of the songs on Fignia's playlist. I'll see if I like it better.
It's gonna be a long, long time.
Is the check the backlog? Is the 3rd of Solness, which would correlate to Aries? I thought Solness was summer. Oh, I'm forgetting my own months. Oh no. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Solness is spring. I thought Solness was summer for a second there. Oops, goodbye. It's fine. Wait, Arrow, Leo, he's a Leo. Leo is August. That's a big difference. Aries is April, August is Leo is August. Hang on, let me pull up my calendar. Like 21 Guri Anvis burning is was the current date because we're in Anvis at the moment. And I got it. 'Cause I've got the one with everything in it. Because your stuff will be out later. Original stuff. Continents. Gloria. Masonian calendar. This like copy thing, the thing you have to paste in is ridiculous.
I return.
Oh.
Oh, what a song to return to.
Is settling something in chat.
Oh, fair enough. Ah.
Dean's birthday is the 3rd of Solness.
I don't remember what Tala's birthday is. I'll have to write it on her toy house so I can remember in the future.
Got it. Birthday is the 3rd of Solness. Val's is the 6th of Vantis. Hurry's is the 42nd of Vantis. And then Tala's, I believe, is in Famine, right?
It is famine one, yes.
Tala's birthday is the 15th of Famine. It's full moon.
Ironic.
Midpoint. Almost the midpoint of...
Slap bang in the middle of famine. Huh. How about that? I'm sure that doesn't correlate to anything.
I'm sure that's not important. In case you guys were curious, the only other birthday I have on here, Cordelia's, which is the 5th of Channas. It's right at the start of the year.
There's Tala's profile on Toy House, and I'll write this down. Manage character, edit profile.
It would be...
Hadfield.
15.
Birthday. 15?
It would be formatted like, in my world, it would be formatted like 15, Verax, and then it would just be Famine. Yours would be easiest.
It's probably
This is
better.
the day
It's probably better you type that out for me so I can just copy it.
In chat.
Yes. of tea and biscuit-based snack. If you haven't already, you should probably have your biscuit-based snack.
I have, but I might take Tyler's.
Uncle.
So yours is easiest because yours is in famine. So you don't, because normally you format it in my world. You do day of the week, month, season. With famine, it's both the month and the season. So you only have to put a weekday, month, season. Thanes.
Update character. There we go. It's on her profile now.
And you would put year for reference, but obviously this doesn't matter in this moment. The Thanes would be 3 Esther Solness. Oh, what spring is? What spring is? Wait, what's that? Oh, I have to check. Little fact: the weekdays, because this is a Messanian calendar, the weekdays are for certain things in the Messanian's priest rotation, but they also correlate to different Messan's eyes. So the days mean things technically. So Verax is the day of truth. Esther's the day of honesty, which also makes sense. Ours is an Asri. Day of stars, and hers is which is the day of prophecy.
Oh.
No, thanks, spring. No, it's spring. I just checked this, I know. You're right, I'm wrong. Just checked this, we just went through this. Tower Chanus, spring. Blooming, that's what it's called. Sonus and Vantis are a shine. Is it shining? I think it's shining. And then Dalton and Anvis are burning, and then there's just famine.
Hello.
Da, 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 da. Like this. That's famine.
What's up, babes?
You guys currently in the calendar are like here.
Yeah.
Like 40.
When did we start? Have we had a birthday?
Oh, we started in Fulton. Your birthdays had all gone by the time we started. I started on the 1st of Fulton, so we did all of Burning. But you guys are all spring, summer children. It's Tala's and then Lee's? Yeah.
Correct.
Of the ones where birthdays have been decided. Obviously, I don't know. I haven't decided, Blair and, Astor's a summer baby. Flem might be a famine child, actually.
Ooh.
Joey gotta make sure Tala lives to give Lee a gift.
Yes, that's our biggest problem at the moment.
That's the #1 concern. Okay, the next paragraph I have to edit is sad, so give me just a second to take a break.
Sadness.
Be back in a second.
Drawing my baby. Let's turn that off. There we go. Yeah. I'm gonna say to you now, guys, during our little role play, or was it after? I can't remember. It was either during or after. I actually said to girls, "What is so special about famine?" And I did not get an answer. And I just straight up asked. I was like, "What's so special about famine?" And I didn't get an answer. And I'm just like, Mm-hmm. How old is Tala turning? I can't actually remember. Oop. How old is Tala turning? I think she's younger than Thane, but only by 1 year? Or they're the same age? So she's technically older? Is she younger or older? Excuse me, goodness. Then he's 26. Oh, he's older then. I thought they were the same age, but I've got written here that she's 24, so he's actually older. And she turns... So, if my note is correct here, she turns 25. Which is a nice round number. May have to double check with Curls on that one, but that's what I've got written down. Yeah, maybe. I think we were memeing that they were like the same in a lot of ways. Every week I am reminded of what I said when we were doing like session 0 and we hadn't even started the game yet and we were learning about each other's characters. I was like, oh, our characters are either gonna be like best friends or they're just gonna hate each other. And it turns out that the answer was yes. Ooh. It's probably a good thing that they've never openly had a conversation about that. Because I think calling it a conversation is probably being generous. It'll probably be a shouting match that will probably end, I'll be honest, with Thane crying, because let's be honest, Tala's not the one who's gonna cry. The best way. It's not always the best way. Sometimes she's just straight up nasty. Sometimes it's like being cruel to be kind, but sometimes it's just straight up being mean. Yeah, she has done it, but sometimes there's a very fine line which she struts across constantly because kind of she doesn't really know the difference. But as we know, she is capable of simply saying stuff because she wants to be mean and hurtful. Unfortunately, Thane obviously knows that firsthand. Yeah, there is that. Though it is just the fact that early on, she learnt very early on that Thane came from a noble background, and she basically could not forgive that. Like I feel if Thane had kept that more secret, maybe she would have started to like him more. But obviously, that information has been needed several times, so I don't think it was capable of being kept secret. Nah. Like Zal kept his quote unquote nobility quite secret, and thus Tala is better friends with Zal. To this day remains one of the funniest lines out of character in the campaign. I have the best kill count to date. Actually, no, you have the worst one, because you've died. Oh, right. That made me laugh so much. I'm sorry, Frog. I love Huri very much, but unfortunately in Tala's mind he also has done the cardinal sin of being from nobility. Tala's a bitch.
Return.
Hello.
Return with toast.
Toast. Crunch. Excuse me. Hello.
I'll catch up on chat.
I can tell because from the amount of times you reblog it on Tumblr.
There's a lot of catching up on chat to do. Okay.
Yeah. It does make me smile whenever you reblog it because I'm like, ah, yes. Further evidence of how I can play absolute jerks. When I have the reputation of the cinnamon roll. Oh, thank you. I have not saved this once. That could have been disastrous. Thank you, Frog.
Okay, time to. Interesting. The light fully went out that time. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I did my unmute. Goes from flashing light to solid on, and the light just turned off. I was like, that me. Time to edit the sad part.
Lovely. As I'm sure some of you have seen, the Kickstarter's going well, which was anticipated. Well, I anticipated it. No one else ever seems to anticipate it. Every time. But yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, we were saying this earlier in the stream. Oak Heart, where we pick up on Thursday, is going to be it's going to be a solid 5-10 minutes of being like, what are we doing?
What? What's going on? Because no one was taking notes. Well, at least I wasn't.
Not enough time for me to have really remembered it. So hopefully Kay does. Oh, the Vision of Eddie and Mara that got referenced 4 years ago. Yes. Am I gonna make a sprout joke in this? I feel like I have to now. I've realised I can.
If you've got the opportunity, I think you have to.
Do it. As I've gone from a dragoon analogy to a gardening analogy, this is X's narrative.
You just gotta get chocobos in there somewhere and you're good.
Yeah. I need to find an analogy somewhere about chocobo racing.
I started a doc so that I could write down all of the names of my racing chocobos. For no reason other than I would have a log of them, just so I would have them all remembered.
You are a you are a chocobo breeder. Now this is chocobo racing.
Look, the headcanon is that every single racing chocobo that Exa breeds is just kept in like a paddock.
Yeah, we just still have it. Yeah.
Because like when they get retired, Exa's like, no, they can live here.
Yeah, I am where they. It's like having racing greyhounds.
Yeah.
Like they retire, but they come to us. I can't remember. I know Storm Countess was my first one. What is my current one? Something Princess, isn't it? Like Stone Princess or something.
Something like that.
Just somewhere you could check. It's not on the lodestone, I know.
I don't know for racing chocobos without loading into the game.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Final Fantasy 14 race chocobos: Crystal Wind, female; Desert Yellow; Crystal Loon, female; Othard Blue; Sakura Loon, female; Rose Pink. All of my
I can't
chocobo,
remember mine.
all of my chocobos inherit a name from their sires or
Yeah.
from their progenitors, shall we say. And I've also had entirely females thus far, which is just 50-50 chance.
Have I? But I've only had 2. Have we got a frog date? Update? One fear, drawing Lo's head. So pretty.
So pretty. Love
Boy.
it. Look at him. Blue, once again, your wingspan is too hard to manage.
Pull it together, Blue. A more manageable wingspan, please.
Spatial awareness, you've always been bad at it.
Time do we want to wrap, by the way? Pretty engrossed in this, but...
I don't know, I guess maybe we should consider 11:30 to be sensible. I know that obviously a sensible bedtime is not really much of a thing for you, but I should probably try to maintain
Well, yeah, I was
something.
mostly asking for your benefit.
Yeah.
I have no intention of being sensible, but you should probably care a little bit.
Yeah, because as we know, we're going to keep talking after the stream ends, so I suppose ending the stream before midnight is a good choice.
Probably a good idea, yeah.
needs to be bigger. More fluff. More fluff.
More fluff. I just got completely blindsided by a song. Maybe I'll just put this album on shuffle and just got immediately punched in the chest with a different OC. I was like, oh god. That playlist and carry on.
Not gonna be able to use that tail as a flight stabilizer if it's so small.
It'll lengthen. I flew.
Oh no. Excuse me.
You have to pull up X's Toy House real quick. This might have to happen.
I don't know if it'll have the information you need. It's a little sparse.
I don't need information, I need a visual.
Oh, right. What's this? Activity update from 16 minutes ago. Dasa submitted a new character.
From 16 minutes ago? You didn't go on Toy House, did you? You're doing things.
Of course I had to open up Vex's page just to be like, I want to see what you're looking at. even though I know what Exa looks like.
Yeah, it's just that I went to write something very confidently. I was like, I actually don't think that's what X's armor looks like, and I was correct.
Oh, fair enough.
Exa visual, it's just a Lynx cat.
Hey!
That's chain under there, huh?
What, on the side?
Underneath
The
the
side,
dragon
yeah. So
plate,
the
yeah.
front is scale.
I
But
don't
the
know, in my
side
head I was like, is it a dark blue shirt? But I think that's the different glamour that you have.
It might be, yeah.
Oh.
Obviously, a lot of these.
Love this picture of Exa in the tribunal in Ishgard.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
a good
god,
one.
I hate that I know where that is! It need to be stopped.
Yeah, I believe it's chain. It is hard to see in all of these pictures.
Yeah, I think we're deliberately, it's not an important part of the armor, so they don't render it, but I think
Yeah.
that's chain under there.
See, it's very layered if you look, because you can see it more around.
Yeah.
You can see it more around the neck of like there's chain, and then
also a shirt.
underneath that chain there's also a shirt. It's multiple layers.
Thing is, you don't change your glamours per expansion like me, so at least that's easier.
Yeah. I am a simple person. I see an outfit I like, and I'm like, you know what? This is good.
This'll do, and for the foreseeable future.
I found that chess piece, and I have yet to find one that I like more than it.
It looks a lot better on Exa than it does on Iphignia, I will say that.
She has the shoulders.
Do you have it on Iphignia?
X has got the shoulders for it.
Yeah, for sure. Iphignia's too little. Ignore me going on Toy House, please and thank you. Never.
I will do no such thing.
Oh, that picture of Iffy and Exa is too much.
Love that picture so much.
Is that actually the caption you put on?
No, that was the caption you put on it. This is your picture.
Didn't even notice.
It's your picture. I just linked it on my profile.
See?
That's your description.
Whoopsie. Got so many fucking pictures on Iphignia now, it's actually a little disgusting. To be fair, I basically have a whole Twitter which is just a picture of Iphignia, so... Just to Endwalker, I think it's 46. Right? I'll tell you right now.
Magic.
Huh?
I appreciate this countdown because it is also how many days until Pokemon.
It is. Sorry, it's 37. 7 days until it enters early access.
I assume it's one of
Over a
those.
month.
I assume it's one of those things where if you pre-order, you get early access.
Yeah. That's 37 days to early access, yeah. Want to follow? How many days till Endwalker is a Twitter account that I follow.
I am not
I
surprised.
don't think they post anything other than that, so...
It'll be a
who
bot
cares?
then. I did see that though because the entire.
I think I have a feeling that Final Fantasy actually own it.
Ah, fair enough. It was
They
funny
often
though.
retweet it.
It was funny because I saw a million people liking and responding and retweeting to it when it was 69
69.
days, and everybody was just going nice.
Even the Final Fantasy Twitter,
Even
official Twitter did.
the official Twitter went nice.
I just remember the day before it. What was it? The day before, they were like, 70 days left. Y'all better come up something creative tomorrow. Maybe make the one day you can do this count. There are 69 days left until Final Fantasy Endwalker. Nice apocalypse in 3, 2, 1.
Nice apocalypse.
And then there's a screenshot of like 71k retweets and stuff, and it's like, did you all succeed in getting that out of your system? The first response to it is the Final Fantasy account saying nice. And then Jesse. Little Daisy is so cute. It's just the whole way down. Nice.
Yeah, I remember looking at that as well.
There's 1,665 responses and 7,000 retweets. Average, like the one for the day later is like 5 comments, 100 retweets.
Yeah, exactly. Like any that one will have been thrown around by everybody. Like people who don't even follow that account will have retweeted it.
Very funny. I like can't believe we're in like 37 days is not. Yeah, the top comment on it is how I feel. Wait, I stopped paying attention at 50 days. How did this happen? Oh god, oh fuck.
Oh shit, oh fuck.
Everyone's like, it's happening! Feels like, I don't know, I remember finishing at 0.55 or whatever it was. And being like, holy shit, it's so long till Endwalker, how am I gonna do this? Now I'm like, fucking Endwalker's tomorrow.
That's what university will do to you.
Yeah, man. Moving house, university, finishing a job.
Excuse me. When
It's
I was
11:20.
Yeah. When I was going to get my drink, I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, right, when you went for your holiday, when you were getting prepped for your holiday, you blinked and you were like, shit, I have work I need to do that I haven't done and I need to do it. So while I was just standing there staring at the kettle waiting for it to boil, I was like, think about this rationally. How much time have you actually got left to do everything? Everything. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, a month? I think it's a month. So I'm sitting here and now and I'm like, okay, let's not do what we did last time and like leave it to the last week. So while I'm just there making my tea, I'm just like, how much do I need to do and what days am I physically able to do it on? And then I blanked out and made my cup of tea. So I'm not sure when the actual deadline is, but if it is after Pokemon's probably a decent personal deadline to make, because then I won't, because then like, you know, I can enjoy Pokemon to its fullest when it comes out and not be like, oh, I got work to do so I can't play. But I mean, if the deadline's before that, then but I think
I think you could comfortably get 5.0 done by comfortably. To be honest, if not nearly, then actually be up to date. 5.3 takes a while. One more apology. What for? What's this?
I'm assuming he's referring to the fact that he's actually making Thane's profile on Toy House.
I don't know. referring to?
I don't know
That's,
then.
no, that's just the Shadowbringers experience. You don't have to apologize for going from sad to feral. That's just Shadowbringers. That's the only two moods that exist in that expansion. Thing that gets you every time. Which one? There's a few. Most of Shadowbringers makes me emotional in one way or another. Yeah, you're good, Das. I don't, at this current moment, I would probably, if we were actually speaking right now, I would know what you're talking about, but right now I can't remember. Either way, I don't know why you're apologizing for experiencing human emotion. Oh, right, no, that's the intention of the scene. You're meant to go from viscerally sad to fuming in about 0.2 seconds in the scene. The way it's meant to go. And I went on the same emotional journey. Mr. Oni, Trog gets it. Loop forever. Minute warning, Blue. 4-minute warning.
Never even said that this, like, visual of Blue is just me yesterday, which is why I wanted to draw it. Because yesterday on the modded Minecraft we got going, we bit the bullet and went and did the End Dragon. Because we were probably in a state where we could have done it for a while, we just never did it. So we got a bunch of stuff together. We did a couple of mini bosses first to see how powerful we were, because we were all using like modded equipment. So we were like, don't know how this works. It could either one-shot the dragon or do nothing. So we did some mini bosses first, and then we went to the end. Killed the dragon. But in the mod pack that we're using, they gave the end like the prettiest skybox I have ever seen. Like normally the end is just like void.
The end is my hell.
I know you hate it. I know you hate it. I'm sorry. Normally the skybox is just like this void, and it's not even like total black. Like if you actually go into the texture, it's like very faint static. It's ever so slightly grainy. But in this mod pack, they were like, screw it, you're getting the most beautiful starry night purple sky box that you've ever seen. And I was like, oh my god, I want to stare at it for hours. And I pretty much did, because they had a spell book from the mod that I was doing, so I'm doing magic mods, so shock and horror, which basically gave me flight, but it's like elytra flight, so it's like the gliding soaring. So literally once the dragon was defeated, I just turned on this flight and just sort of went and just kind of soared and glided around for like probably an hour, just enjoying being in this pretty skybox. And like the end's been totally redone, so there was like new biomes and things popping up once you had gotten like a decent distance away from the Dragon's Island. So I was also like discovering wild stuff, like not even like there's new stuff in vanilla End, but this was like modded End, so there was like forests and lakes and things, and I was like, why did they went off on making the End pretty. So yeah, this picture of Blue is literally like this was me last night. I was just flying around through the End, just going, oh my god, why is this beautiful? I am enraptured by this.
good, I made this playlist hit 1,000 times harder. Good job, self. Amazing how putting one song on the end of a playlist can just fucking...
Yep.
like, oh, this changes the whole vibe of the playlist. 7:30, that's true. Grappling.
Okay. Quite happy with that. Haven't drawn my gun in ages.
Forgotten how to spell my own OC's name, even though I've just typed it about 50 times. There we go. Right, let's wrap now, otherwise we never will.
Okay, wrapping up.
Good night, everybody.
Good
We will
night,
see you
gang.
tomorrow, hopefully.
Yes, fingers
Or
crossed.
D&Ds. See you for... I was gonna say Okart, wrong one. Polite Princess. See you for Polite Princess tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Mwah.